Eleanor had worn the same dress for 5 years, a burgundy Victorian gown, once splendid, now tattered at the hem, crusted with old food and filth. She never bathed, never allowed the windows to open, and never removed the dress, not even to sleep. Inside, her home had transformed into a shrine of her former life. Newspaper clippings, yellowed with age, told stories of her glory days. The piano, though out of tune, still held candle stubs from rehearsals long past. People whispered that she was mad, a broken heart, some said. Others believed she was cursed. But Eleanor had a reason. She believed changing her clothes would kill her. The visitor from Ellis Island. In 1903, a young physician named Dr. Theodore Marsh was assigned by the city's Department of Health to investigate potential sources of a strange illness spreading in the area. Fever, boils, death within days. When complaints pointed toward 217 Delancey, Dr. Marsh knocked politely on Eleanor's door. No answer. He returned the next day with a police officer. What they found was horrifying. The apartment was filled with decaying food, stacked newspapers, jars of pickled vegetables years expired. Rats scurried across the floor, and flies swarmed over a mound of cloth that turned out to be Eleanor herself, seated in a regal chair, stiff as a statue. Her skin was pale, almost translucent. Her hair was still curled in the style of 1896, and her dress, the dress, was covered in stains, lice, and dried blood from bed sores. But she was alive. She turned her head slightly, looking through the doctor with glassy blue eyes. "I can't take it off," she whispered. "If I remove it, I'll die. The dress protects me." Dr. Marsh realized this was no longer a public nuisance case. It was something far more dangerous. Eleanor was likely carrying typhus, or worse, the bubonic plague, recently observed in cases coming from steamships docking at Ellis Island. The Department of Health quarantined the building. Tenants were furious. Some tried to flee but were held back by the city's growing panic. Disease had ravaged immigrant neighborhoods before, but never had it come from a woman once seen as royalty. The press got hold of the story. The queen who never changed her clothes. Is plague lurking in her velvet dress? Papers sold out by noon. Eleanor became infamous again, but for all the wrong reasons. Dr. Marsh returned with a nurse and attempted to reason with Eleanor. He offered clean clothes, a warm bath, medical help. She refused. "I have memories sewn into this dress," she said. "If I change, I lose them." In truth, Eleanor was suffering from a rare psychological condition, likely a combination of delusional disorder, obsessive-compulsive behavior, and trauma-induced paranoia. After the death of her fiancé, who died during a performance at sea, she had locked herself into the last day she remembered joy. Every stain, every rip, was a timeline. She couldn't let go. The intervention. On July 2, 1903, city officials made the decision to forcibly remove Eleanor. 2 nurses and a sanitation team entered the apartment in full gear. Eleanor screamed, not in fear of people, but in terror of being stripped from her dress. They sedated her. When the gown was finally removed, it crumbled in their hands. Underneath, Eleanor's body was emaciated. Her skin showed signs of years-long infections. She was rushed to Bellevue Hospital. The dress was burnt. Tests confirmed Eleanor had been a carrier of typhus and possibly early-stage pneumonic plague, a city's narrow escape. By a thread of luck, no major outbreak occurred. The quick action by Dr. Marsh and the city's response had narrowly saved New York from disaster. But Eleanor never recovered. She died 6 weeks later in the hospital, quiet, confused, wearing a plain hospital gown. Her last words, "Tell them the queen is not dead. She just changed her clothes. Closing scene. 1920s, a museum exhibit. In a side room of the New York City Historical Museum, there's a small display. The Velvet Queen, a forgotten tale of disease and delusion. Inside a glass case, a replica of the infamous burgundy dress. Next to it, a photo of Eleanor Whitmore in her prime. Children pass by it without a second glance. But some old-timers still remember the smell, the rumors, the flies, and how one woman's obsession nearly brought a city to its knees.